Introducing the all-new Corolla.
Failure to discover the evidence sooner must not be the result.
Defense attorneys Terry Timblin for David Manila and Sylvia Stake for Anthony Kenga are fighting for a new trial. They point to newly discovered evidence from a former female employee of the Blue House Lounge. The woman, Ivory Warren's testimony earlier this week conflicts with some of the testimony given by 9 witnesses at trial.
The testimony refutes the complaining witnesses' claims that they were not being paid, that refutes their claims that they were being held against their will, refutes their claims that they were threatened with arrest by Mr. Manila and Mr. Kenga. It refutes the claims that they were forced to have sex by Mr. Manila and Mr. Kenga.
However, Assistant Attorney General Chris Udoka was quite emphatic in his arguments.
You know, we can scream all we want Miss Ivory Warren's testimony is new.
Presenting evidence that Warren's testimony in court contradicts what she told investigators before trial.
Now, Ivory would testify that Shaw told the girls not to have sex with customers. We heard that on the stand. But yet Ivory had previously indicated in the notes to Agent Dodd and Officer Volta that she was hired as a waitress, but then she quickly transitioned to taking customers into the room for sex. Ivory would also testify that she only once had sex with a customer. Yet, in the reports, and I asked her, she provided Officers Dodd and Volta with business cards, photographs, and names of her Blue House customers. Again, Ivory would testify that all the other girls were lying. Yet when pressed, she couldn't provide a reason as to why they're all lying.
Udoka also says the defense's claims that Warren's testimony is newly discovered is just a last-ditch effort to get a new trial. Udoka says Warren's testimony is nothing new. In fact, the defense had a copy of her interview with investigators, says Udoka.
And this was a strategic move. And how do I know it's a strategic move? Because it was in their motion on page 5 of defendant's motion for new trial. And I quote, "This writer considered subpoenaing Ivory as a witness at trial as she did not claim to have been held against her will, but decided not to as she contradicted defendant Manila's assertion that he never had sex with Neil Nemec. This is a last-ditch effort, which is too little, too late, Your Honor. You don't litigate after a jury's already returned its verdict. You don't litigate on what we should have done, what we could have done, what we would have done."
Finally, Udoka points out that even if Warren's claims were true, her testimony does not hold up against the accounts of the 9 witnesses who were victimized by Manila and Kenga.
The people put on at least 9 of the women who were at Blue House. They all had clear, corroborating, and consistent testimonies. And just from Ivory's statements, this would not be enough to make our witnesses seem incredible.